whatever.
Thank you, baby.
No one else would.
I am starving, ladies.
This is so yummy.
Listen, I can drink Redford out of the bottle.
I'm about to put this in my boots.
Honey, you are always sticking something in your boots. Aren't we all?
No, I don't have.
Girl, I might have some leftovers in there from last
I
night.
don't have no boots.
You know, I'm constantly picking crap out of my boobs. As Southern women, it seems a tradition. You know. So we were talking about your son. Tell.
Oh, do you have a son?
How old is he?
Oh. You just have one child?
Yeah. Well, he's getting at that age where I personally don't think it's appropriate for kids to be talking about this at his age, but they are.
What is that?
He's asking me, you know, kids are talking about being gay at school, calling each other gay, this and that. I was just wondering how I could tell him that it's okay, you know, at his age, an appropriate way to explain what being gay is, and how to say that it's okay, and take up for other kids if they're being called that. And then another thing, his friend that's 9, it's like a boy, and he's punching.
He's doing what?
Punching.
Punching on?
Oh.
I don't know.
Describe hunching.
Like hitting on top of him and rubbing on him.
Your son told you that he was doing that?
Yeah,
Well, that's a whole nother ballgame.
He's very uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, you need to go talk to somebody at school.
Well, this is at his house.
Oh, when he's at his
Hold up.
house?
I wouldn't let him go back over there.
No,
See, I don't know that I agree with that.
I don't either. But you need to find out from a parent's perspective. I would speak to the parents.
Oh, she's gonna go off.
Yeah.
Because you know how parents are, especially.
But now I know you got a lot of psycho in you like me.
I would maybe give your son, give him a talk and tell him to let that little boy know that, you know,
Well, I told him
he doesn't think that's
but
appropriate.
My son is he's kind of like me. He doesn't want to start a fight. And I was like, Gavin, he yells at him and tells him not to do that, but he's not listening.
No,
Gavin's like,
Well,
I'm
if you
gonna have
can't talk
punch
to the
him.
mother and the boy's not listening, what other option do you have?
I don't know, because I feel like there should be some kind of resolution.
You don't think there's a way that you could speak to her and start it off a certain way so that she doesn't get
There's
offensive?
some parents
If
that
I
don't.
could say something, it would have to not involve me. Because you know,
Oh yeah, well I
that
wouldn't.
age, especially if you accuse someone strong,
You don't have to do it that way.
they're
Some
gonna
parents think that their
flip
children
out.
do no wrong.
well, no, I don't think that's wrong. I would simply say, has your child saw you in some inappropriate acts, perhaps, or have you ever I would make it funny. I would say if you saw your child
Yeah.
punching something like a dog, you know,
Have you been hunting on something?
right, because I saw your child punching like a dog.
Have you actually saw him do it?
No, Gavin told me not to.
Does he come over to your house?
Not usually. It's over at his house.
And it's
So
not
you
even a
couldn't say
gay
that you
issue.
saw it.
Like
Right.
if my daughter was at a boy's
Well, no,
house, if
I
she was a
completely
friend and the
agree,
boy was
but
hunching,
It's still different. It's still different when you bring something like that to a parent than if it's a boy and a girl. It's still.
I mean, is it a gay issue? Do you think the little boy's gay?
Being around him, I think so.
Is he feminine?
He is, but he reminds me of a gay type of man that is gay, but tries to act masculine, but I've been around so many.
Gay males.
I know I'm telling you, he's gay. He's gonna grow up and say he's gay. But
How old is he?
he's 9.
So you feel he's like already closeted.
And I feel like he's gonna try to push him somewhere.
Oh wow.
So I don't even sound that over there. Now I just let him go play with that or
Where's his father?
the little boy. They're divorced, but you have to step back.
Can you reach out to his father or his stepdad?
I'm telling you, the parents are gonna go off. But the reason why I want to keep the friendship love to eat her. I love her. But you know, some people, well, most people aren't open-minded like this.
So you don't think that she would be okay with
No, she
him being gay?
She would just dismiss it and cuss me out and probably never talk to me again.
Then I would probably encourage your son to address it and then go from there. So then if the little boy gets upset and he goes tattling to his mom, then you're going to have to break
And
it down
you'll
for
have
her.
reason to say something about it.
Yeah.
And listen, when it comes to your child, if she acts crazy, then it's like goodbye.
Yeah, no, I agree
It's-
with you.
But if your son's comfortable, like have the discussion with him and say, because I've talked to my kids since they were born
Yeah.
about being gay and loving people for who they are, whatever color they are, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's actually been a positive thing with their friends, and especially like with Trevor.
Well, I still have to back up and explain to him.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain everything.
I think there's a book that would might be on this over too. That's I saw it on a TV show.
I want him to be okay.
Right.
I just don't know everything.
Anything's appropriate. Like with
And the
Trevor,
earlier the better.
with Trevor Allen, Morgan, Dante, Justin, Madison Faith, me being transgendered, they have all grown up knowing simply that I am a human being.
That it's okay.
There is no gender.
Ain't nothing I can.
It's on you all day.
But my son went through the phase where it's like instead of calling somebody stupid, they're like, you fag, or it's just like they said it. So I had a discussion with
Yeah.
all of them.
Well, it's hard for me to know what to say because growing up, if you had sex, you were a whore.
Right.
It wasn't even talked about.
Same here.
That's how I ended up getting pregnant when I was 16 because my mom wouldn't talk to me about it.
Yeah. I feel you on that
Well,
one.
now, see, I got pregnant when I was 16, but I knew all about it. My mom, she talked to me about sex when I was probably too young to even be talking about
Well, I
sex.
knew what it was, but if she would have let me get birth control, you
My
know.
mom tried to make me get birth control and I wouldn't.
But growing up, not knowing how to talk about sex is why I don't know how to talk about sex. You know, I don't know how.
Well, Val, what is your perspective raising Justin?
Justin's just been like, he just don't think nothing about it because he just don't not, he's just always been around and just don't think nothing about it. He just don't know no difference.
No. What I mean is, like, what if Justin had a friend, like, and he was hunching on him? How would you handle it?
No. Justin would just tell him that it's not nice. And then if that didn't take care of it, then I would.
It's not appropriate for anybody to touch someone else at any age without the other person being okay with it. You don't violate people's.
But you said the little boy is not listening. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
And here's all the problems. I want to keep a friendship with his mother because I love her. She's
But there's
done a
some
lot for me.
friends that you can't if there's
I
something
agree. If they
issue.
won't listen, then I'll have to cut it.
Yes, because your
Yeah.
child has to come
And
first.
I've been through that raising my
But-
kids, and it's very hard.
Since I haven't been letting him stay on out over there, and they just play for a few hours on the trampoline and stuff, that hasn't been happening. But I still, if it happens again, like I want to go home today and talk to him and resolve it. But I don't know.
How old is he?
He's 10.
I don't think you have
I
to
wanna
go
be
into
able-
great
No, I would just
detail.
say it's not okay for anyone to touch you inappropriately without your permission, ever. Not when you're 10,
And
not
then
when
the
you're
other
30.
issue is he keeps, for some reason the kids right now are obsessed with gay and calling each other gay and what is gay and this is gay and that is gay and he's like, well what is this? What is gay? Like what does that mean? I don't know what to say.
Well, so you
'Cause
could
that's
take
the
it-
other thing that he's been asking.
So one of my son's friends, we were in the car, and they were probably about 10 years old. And his friend was talking about somebody that they thought was gay. And I don't even think it was one of their friends, it was just someone, and they were like, that's so disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, let's talk about this. Why do you think it's gross? So So they explained it, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, that's not something that perhaps you would be interested in, but they may think it's gross because you like girls. So they're born that way. They don't wake up one day and decide, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like boys. It's not a choice for them, and that's something that you need to understand. Some boys like boys, some boys like girls, some girls like girls, and some girls like boys. So let's put this in perspective. Let's say Trevor, who's my son, who's your best friend in the whole wide world, decides to confess to you one day that he's gay. Are you gonna hate him? And he's like, no. And I was like, are you gonna think it's gross? And he's like, no. I was like, what if it was your brother? No. And I was like, so why is it gross for this other person? They're humans. They just choose to love someone.
Oh, that's really good. I'll probably use that.
Yep.
But
So it shouldn't change how you feel about someone because of who they love.
They're born like
if it wasn't for the other kids, though, we wouldn't have even talked about it. Because honestly, the way that I've been going, we don't ever discuss race or anything like that. So he just looks at everybody like they're the same. It's not an issue.
Same with
If it wasn't for them, I would have treated it the same way. And the way things have been going, I think he would have just been like, oh, that's just how it is.
Right.
Because of the way other kids are talking, now he's like,
Oh, school is a big influence. That's where kids are usually the most educated, but you need to make sure they're educated right.
yeah.
So you need to set the record straight from the bullshit that they hear at school.
I
Yeah, everybody's
definitely-
different, and everybody's not going to love the same.
And as long as you
person,
teach your
same type
child
of
to
person.
love, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Not to judge people.
That's
And
And
what
ignore
he's
ignorance.
not racist at all. But he's just been really curious about the
It was so funny when Trevor was growing up, his best friend was black. And they've been best friends since they were like 4 years old. And Trevor would like rub his head and be like, why does your hair feel different? And it was so cute, but and Patrick, the black friend would be like, I don't know.